This is the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. I am Manoj Mainkar, and in the next half hour, I'll bring to you news updates from India and around the world, awareness videos on coronavirus by Government of India, yoga on radio, and a lot more. We'll begin with the news updates.
This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio, the news read by Kaushik Rai. Prime Minister has described the ongoing situation arising out of the COVID-19 outbreak as akin to a social emergency. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asserted that the priority of his government is to save each and every life. The Indian Prime Minister said country has been forced to take tough decisions and it must continue to remain vigilant. Mr. Modi emphasized the impact of the emerging situation as witnessed in the resource constraints. He said India has been among the few nations to control the spread of the virus till now. He also cautioned that the situation keeps changing continuously and one needs to maintain vigil at all times. Leaders of different political parties provided feedback and suggested policy measures and discussed the way forward. The leaders of different political parties appreciated the Prime Minister for timely measures taken by him. The United States recorded nearly 2,000 novel coronavirus deaths for a second day in a row, according to a tally by the Johns Hopkins University as of 8:30 p.m. Wednesday night, that is 00:30 GMT Thursday. The record-breaking figure of 1,973 deaths, slightly higher than the previous day's toll of 1,939, brings the total number of U.S. fatalities to 14,695. The U.S. death toll now has exceeded that of Spain, which has suffered 14,555 deaths, but has not surpassed Italy, whose toll stands at 17,669. However, US authorities have said that the coronavirus epidemic is now trending down. US President Donald Trump has thanked India for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's decision to allow the export of the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine to the United States. Hydroxychloroquine has been identified by the US Food and Drug Administration as a possible line of treatment for the COVID-19, and it is being tested on more than 1,500 coronavirus patients in New York. President Trump and Prime Minister Modi spoke over the phone last week. During the call, Mr. Trump had requested the Indian Prime Minister to lift the hold on the American order of hydroxychloroquine, of which India is the major producer. India has received similar requests from several other countries, including its immediate neighbors Sri Lanka and Nepal. India has said that it is reviewing its export order ban. Notably, India's decision to ban the exports of hydroxychloroquine is driven by its desire to take stock of the domestic requirements and ensure that the country has enough of the drug. Pakistan has allowed movement of cargo vehicles to Afghanistan thrice a week from April 10th to facilitate transportation of essential goods. The Pakistan Foreign Office said the decision was taken in response to Afghanistan government's special request and based on humanitarian considerations. The movement would be allowed at Torkham and Chaman border points, which are the busiest routes. The two border crossings would be on Monday, Wednesday and Friday from April 10th onwards, the Pakistan Foreign Office said. The Riyadh-led military coalition declared a 2-week-long ceasefire in Yemen starting Thursday in a bid to combat the spread of the deadly coronavirus, a senior Saudi official said. The coalition was committed to a 2-week ceasefire but still reserved the right to defend itself if it came under attack, the Saudi official said. The ceasefire may be extended if the Houthis respond positively to the gesture, he added. The Saudi-led military coalition has been active in Yemen's conflict in support of an internationally recognized government since 2015. Former US President Joe Biden is now the Democratic nominee for the American presidential race. Mr. Biden won the Democratic nomination after US Senator Bernie Sanders dropped out of the presidential race yesterday. Presidential elections are due on the 3rd of November this year in the United States, where Mr. Biden will now take on President Donald Trump. Mr. Biden took to Twitter and said that Democrats will not only defeat Donald Trump but will also address the climate crisis. He said if elected, he will make college education affordable and healthcare available to all. China has reported 63 new confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, including 61 imported ones, raising concerns of a second wave of infections as the country on Wednesday lifted more than 2-month lockdown of Wuhan, the original point and epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic, health officials said. The Chinese health authority said that 2 deaths were also reported, taking the total death toll in the country to 3,335. The overall coronavirus cases have reached 81,865 in the country. China's National Health Commission (NHC) said that it received reports of 63 new confirmed coronavirus cases on the Chinese mainland on Wednesday, of which 61 were imported, taking the total tally to 1,104. France is to further extend its lockdown order to slow the spread of the coronavirus, with President Emmanuel Macron once again addressing the nation next week, the French presidency said. The confinement order will be extended beyond its current limit of April 15, a presidential official told Agence France Presse, adding that Macron will address the nation on Monday evening to present the new decisions on the fight against the virus. Meanwhile, France on Wednesday reported 541 more deaths from COVID-19 in hospital over the last 24 hours, bringing its total official toll from the coronavirus epidemic to 10,869. A top health official told reporters that there were now 7,148 people in intensive care in France, a net increase of 17 from the day earlier, the lowest increase recorded in recent weeks. World Athletics' decision to suspend the Olympic qualifications period till end of November has dealt a huge blow to Indian track and field competitors aiming for Tokyo, who were hoping to make the cut through domestic meets tentatively scheduled later this year. Swashbuckling England all-rounder Ben Stokes has ended Indian skipper Virat Kohli's 3-year run as Wisden's leading cricketer of the year after being named for the honour on the back of his stellar show in 2019. World Badminton Championships bronze medalist B. Sai Praneeth on Wednesday donated Rs 4 lakhs to help the fight against the rapidly spreading COVID-19 pandemic. Chess players in the country, including the likes of Grandmaster P. Harikrishna, are doing their bit in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic by raising more than Rs 3 lakh as their contribution. Hockey India on Wednesday donated 21 lakh rupees to the Odisha Chief Minister's Relief Fund to help the state fight the deadly COVID-19 outbreak. He might be just 15, but golfer Arjun Bhati has managed to raise Rs 4.3 lakhs to fight the COVID-19 pandemic by selling all his trophies, including 3 World Junior Golf Championships titles and a national championship. And with that, we end this news bulletin.
If the current COVID-19 outbreak has got you feeling stressed out and anxious, then a calming yoga flow can definitely help. We care for your well-being, and therefore, we bring for our listeners Yoga on Radio. Practice some easy asanas with Yogacharya Surakshit Goswami and keep yourself healthy and rejuvenated.
Dear listeners, today we will practice Ardha Chakrasana. The name is derived from Sanskrit word ardha, meaning half, chakra, meaning wheel, and asana, meaning pose. To enter Ardha Chakrasana, the practitioner begins in Tadasana or mountain pose. Ardha Chakrasana is known as half wheel pose in English. It increases suppleness and strength of the muscles in and around the lower back. Thus, it helps in back pain, slip disc, and sciatica pain. It also gives strength and suppleness to the neck, back, and waist. The nervous system becomes strong. This asana corrects the habit of moving with a slight bend forward. It helps project the chest outward and pulls the shoulder back and straightens your posture. Sitting on a chair for long or working while bending forward can create tension and stiffness in your back. This asana can relieve you of the stiffness. Precautions. In this asana, do not try to bend your back too much or stay in the posture for long. In both cases, back pain may aggravate. So, it is advisable to bend your back a little and stay in the asana for a short duration and then return to the normal position. If during the asana you experience neck pain and feel giddiness, then stop it immediately and do not perform the asana again till the pain has subsided. Avoid this asana if you have hernia.
Bend your body backwards to create a posture where it seems as if your body is looking like a half circle, hence the name Ardha Chakra Asana. Open your legs shoulder width apart, approximately 1 foot apart. Both the toes and the heels will be parallel to the ground. Now, put both hands behind your back and lock your fingers. Inhale and bend your back a little and pull your head back too. Push your hands away from your body towards the ground. Your eyes should be open and teeth tightly closed and jaws firm. Maintain your normal breathing and stay in the posture for as long as you can. Then slowly straighten your back and neck and, opening your locked fingers, stand at ease. Ardha Chakra Asana should be performed twice. While inhaling, you should bend your body backwards. While maintaining the posture, the breathing should be normal. Return to normal position while exhaling.
India is at a critical stage in its fight against coronavirus as fears of community transmissions rise. During its lockdown, frontline workers are still going out every day to win what one doctor described as a war India can't afford to lose. In this section, we bring to you the best of advices from doctors all over India talking about various aspects of coronavirus. Here is one such doctor talking to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Tapaswini Pradhan, working as a head and neck oncosurgeon at the Fortis Hospital, Shalimar Bagh, New Delhi. I'm going to talk about the COVID virus. The coronavirus disease 2019 is an emerging disease and we're still learning the characteristic of this virus. The mortality risk of this virus is almost tenfold higher than the influenza virus. Hence, it is more dangerous, more contagious. Therefore, it's extremely important to maintain a social distance of 1 meter and a good personal and hand hygiene. The daily wear fabrics also mandate regular attention in terms of washing and exposure to sunlight for a minimum period of 2 hours to kill this virus. It is seen that 80% of the patients will have mild manifestations, while 20% of the individuals will manifest in a severe form. Elderly and the debilitated patients are highly vulnerable. The emerging data clearly states that the mortality in the elderlies can be as high as 18%. Pre-existing medical comorbidities like diabetes, heart disease, asthma, those on immunosuppressive therapies are at a higher risk of complications from COVID-19. Cancer patients, on the other hand, are 5-fold more likely to suffer from the severe effects of this virus. Poor immunity and the side effects of the ongoing therapy explain patients' increased vulnerability to infections. Patients who are cancer-free do need to be careful even though the immune system may be working normally. Abstain from smoking. Get adequate sleep for more than 7 hours. Perform the right amount of physical activity, preferably indoors. Avoid unnecessary stress, and all this will keep the virus at bay. Since the virus is new, with no antiviral antidote, no vaccine currently, it's extremely important to enhance our immune system. Keep your blood sugars low to less than 140 milligram per deciliter. Consume diets low in processed sugar, low in carbohydrates. Enrich your diets with good protein and good fat, of course in moderation. Hydrate yourself with fluids. Increase the intake of curcumin in your diet and take a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables to boost your immune system. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Thank you.
During lockdown in India, many citizens are voluntarily participating in creating awareness and helping the less privileged.
Namaskar. Greetings to All India Radio, EST, General Overseas Listener Service. I am Poonam Mishra, blogger, translator, writer, and as curious as a cat. The coronavirus pandemic has forced us all in a sort of house arrest. It is, of course, our duty to practice the social distancing so that we can limit the damage this disease will cause. The roads and streets are uncharacteristically empty. There are no airplanes taking off, no trains running, no buses on the road, and very few people to be seen on the streets. With no vehicular traffic on the road, there is less emission of fuels. The smog in the air is reducing, and we are definitely finding it easier to breathe. India has one of the highest rates of respiratory diseases in the world, and the world's highest number of tuberculosis cases. The reduction in the levels of pollutants in the air will definitely bring some relief to the people. But do you know what brings relief to the soul? To come out in your balconies or terraces or gardens and lift your eyes and look at the brilliance of the twinkling stars. In the unfamiliar silence of the city, I come out in my garden in night and gaze up at the sky. I can see the stars twinkling brightly and the moon beaming happily down at me. The sky seemed happier than ever. There are any number of apps to identify these stars, the constellation, and the zodiacs that we can see. Please do try them. I could spot Venus near the moon bright and shining, but of course it wasn't twinkling. You can find out why from the astronomy websites. During the nights of April 3rd and 4th, Venus passes through the bright cluster of Seven Sisters. Look out for it. Maybe you can even spot the International Space Station if you know the time when it will pass over your city or town. Just check the timings from the NASA website. The station will look like a fast-moving airplane. As the third brightest object in the sky, the ISS becomes easy to spot once you know when and where to look, especially in these nights of clear sky. If the night sky appears more beautiful and clearer than ever, the clean air in the mornings will also bring a number of delights and surprises. Get up in the morning and hear the chirping of the birds. Now that the morning hustle, bustle and mad rush of going to school or office is not there, one can spend some time spotting birds and small animals. This is also the flowering season, and so birds come out to collect their pollen or feed on the berries. Keen observers have spotted the sparrow, bulbul, crow pheasants, quail, even the song of shy songbirds can be heard now. I have just sighted a blue kingfisher on a tree in my house. Interestingly, Bird Count India, an organization working towards bird conservation, has started the lockdown birding challenge from March 27. The study will continue till the 21-day curfew ends. Maybe you can take part in it. The lockdown will be easier to bear once you realize the beauty of nature that has been set free these past few days. This is what I call lockdown soup for the soul. As India's most beloved storyteller and nature lover Ruskin Bond says, live close to nature and your spirit will not be easily broken, for you learn something of patience and resilience. You will not grow restless and you will never feel lonely. And we need all of that in a large measure in these testing times.
The world is grappling with possibly the worst public health crisis seen in more than a century. The COVID-19 pandemic has gripped nations, compelling governments to impose countrywide lockdowns to contain the spread of the deadly virus. Government of India is taking all necessary steps to ensure the well-being of its citizens. The most important factor in preventing the spread of the virus locally is to empower the citizens with the right information and taking precautions as per the advisories being issued by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and World Health Organization. We share with you one such advisory. Have a look.
A virus has invaded our earth. It has invaded us. And there are zillion concerns. There are concerns about our survival, about food, about education, about career, about profession, about our movements. But these are questions for the first time in 3 generations that we are facing. But they're of relevance only if we are alive. To stay alive, stay home.
This is a new virus, so it has got a very big ego. It will not come to your house unless you go out and invite it. So stay home, stay safe.
This is not the social stigma if you arrive from abroad. Just quarantine for 2 weeks and save lives.
Avoid unnecessary waste and misuse of the mask. Use normal surgical mask in case you are symptomatic. N95 mask is only for the healthcare worker use. Be safe at home.
Seniors are most prone to catch the infection and they have highest mortality for COVID-19 because they have weak immune system, poor biological reserve, and they have multiple disease. So they must